YouTube, Shinobi here with a review of the Kamen Rider Ghost DX Gan Gun Saber. So it's Gan Gun Saber in Japanese, but it's romanized as Gan Gun Saber, so I'll slip between the two, I'm sure. This is a 4-mode Henkei, meaning 4-mode transformation, and it's a really fun toy. I dig it quite a bit. So you got this blade mode, you've got the Nitouryu mode, which is just dual wield mode. I'm going to call it that for ease of English. Naginata mode and gun mode. So you got 4 base modes in one toy. Very Dengasher-esque. And it's really cool. So included with this, as you can see up there, is the Musashi Ghost Eyecon with Musashi Damashii right there. So in order to collect all the DX icons, this is a must purchase rather. But I think you're going to be picking this one up anyway. Because not only does it have those 4 modes, it does interact with the Ghost Gadget Series. So if you're interested in picking those up, this is a nice little tag-along item. As you can see, it combines with the Condor to make a vertical crossbow. And it's really freaking cool. It's called Arrow Mode. But we'll get to that when we get to the Condor, which is in about a week or so. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this open and take a look. Alright, so this was released in the first week of October 2015, right alongside the driver for about 5,500 yen or so, give or take, depending on where you picked it up from. Before we take a look at the Gan Gun Saber itself, let's take a look at the Musashi Ghost Eyecon. So here is our little red Ghost Eyecon, Musashi up there, number 1. The pins at the bottom and all that fun stuff, QR code on the back. And there's, you might notice in some of my pictures, there's like black stuff on this. That's my cat's hair. It just gets everywhere in this room. And I can't really avoid that. But no, it's not cracked. It's just pet hair. But this will cycle through the 4 symbols. So you got the eye symbol, 01. The Musashi helmet logo. Very sparkly and very pretty. That hollow foil pattern is like squares, and it kind of makes it look digitized. I really dig that a lot. And the Omega Drive symbol, the 2 swords, swinging around and such. So pretty cool. Get that all situated, and let's go ahead and transform. So there is the transformation. There's red LED in there. It's got red eye. He needs Ben Stein's help. And we'll do the Omega Drive next. And then that Omedamum, or however you want to say it, the final attack, though, it's not really an attack. It's to close Ganma portals, apparently. Now that I watched episode 2, I know what it does. So that is that. Almost whiffed it. We're actually going to leave it in transformed state because we're actually going to need this later on in the review. Boom! Sword! So, the Gan Gun Saber, unfortunately, like most sword weapons, is not that impressive. It's quite short and quite stubby. This is proportionally about what it's supposed to be. In terms of like the length compared to the width and stuff. But obviously it's supposed to be about 2 to 3 times bigger. As seen in the prop in the show, but it's still in decent size. The handle can safely hold most hands, I think, but my hands are kind of small. If you got bigger hands, you might be kind of pushing a little bit down here, but it fits comfortably in my hand, and thus will fit comfortably in the hands of any kid. But the blade portion up here is, like I said, like short and stubby. That doesn't necessarily make it bad. For people who like a lot of length to their sword toys, this is definitely not the thing for you. But I think the 4-mode thing totally makes up for any sort of size complaints that I would have for for a toy like this. So the on and off switch is right back here. Do note that there is 2 AAA batteries in here, and then there's one right there. Don't forget this one right up here, because I did and thought my toy was broken. Fortunately, it was not. You just had to put the batteries in the right place. So there's 2 AAAs right there and 1 right there. So do be careful for that. Go ahead and flip it on.
Gan Gun Saber!
It'll announce what it is with a white LED or clear LED or normal LED, whatever. Just in case you don't know what toy you just bought. So in the blade mode, if you pull the trigger, you get an orange LED out of the base here to signify Ore Damashii. And that's it. So pretty simple. However, how this toy functions is that it's a little bit similar to Drive's technology, although I think it might use NFC instead of IR, because there's no actual like sensor here. But when this gets close to, so it's closer to O's actually. If this gets close to the eye in the Ghost driver, make eye contact, if you will. It'll activate the Omega Break, which is the final attack. So all you have to do is get that eye to line up with that eye, and you get the final attack. So it's a cool way of making it work, especially if you're a kid wearing the driver, because you'll put this like line up eye to eye and activate the final attack. So that is kind of cool. I really dig how they managed to do that. So obviously the blade mode is not all this toy can do. We also have the gun mode, which will be the next one that we do. So press back here, and that will swing it down. You can kind of pretend it's a gun right now, but what you need to do in order to get those new sounds is press that button right here. That will unlock this entire upper portion, which likes to get stuck sometimes on mine. I don't know if that's just me or not. Flip the entire portion around and slide it right back in. There's no announcement of gun mode or anything like that, but the toy does know what just happened, because when you press the trigger now, you get a yellow LED down there and shooting sounds. So you got the yellow LED matches up with the Edison Damashii. So that is neat. I really like the way the gun mode looks because of just how big the toy is normally. The gun mode has a lot of heft to it, and it feels like a really big gun. Again, it's not proportionally accurate to what is in the show, but it feels nice in the hand, so I dig the gun mode quite a bit. And it's probably my favorite of the 4 modes. And to activate the final attack for this one, Gan Gun. So this one does Omega Shoot. All 4 have different Omega attacks, which I think is really cool. It breaks up the repetitivity of just the Omega drive that the driver produces. So it's cool that the toy actually can do 4 different attacks. It's really neat. So moving along to the Dual Wield mode, you switch that back to the sword mode, or blade mode rather. Press this down, unhook it, and then basically from here you're just going to split this one off into its own really weirdly proportioned long stick thing. So now you have the Dual Wield mode. And setting this one aside, this one has no electronics in it whatsoever. So if you hit the trigger now, you got a red LED for Musashi Damashii. I don't like that second sound. It feels like it gets cut off every time. It doesn't. It's just how it is. But that's what it feels like to me. So now you got the dual wielding going on. This one, it looks really stupid. The handle's incredibly long just because of how the toy is designed and designed to function. So it's not really an impressive mode or anything like that. But hey, it's a mode. So what are you going to do? And the final attack, this is kind of unnecessary, but... So that one gives us Omega Slash. Really cool. I like all the differences. They're neat. So fold that back up. There is a button right here that will unlatch that. I found that you don't really need the button, but so keep this situated, and then down here you're just going to plug the two together, just like that, to form the Naginata mode. So most people that are like familiar with Gaim and all that stuff knows what a Naginata is. It's pretty common knowledge by now. So you got the twin-sided sword going on up in here, and if you press that, you get a blue LED for Newton Damashii, even though I don't think Newton Damashii is ever going to use this because he doesn't have hands. But it's the thought that counts. So pretty cool. Again, it's not the best looking thing or the best size thing. In fact, this feels more like it's inches away from being like a bow, like a bow and arrow instead of a Naginata. But hey, what are you gonna do? Not a whole lot. The final attack for this one is so you got Omega Stream for that one. It shoots water, something, I don't know. But it doesn't do that, I'm just kidding. So, switch that back. You just press the button right there. That will pop right out. Swing this around. Slide that in. And you are back to the blade mode. And it is as simple as that. And just to do real quick how this toy works. Basically, there's just different sensors all over this base body that will detect whether something's attached or not. There is two little dots right there. Each of those is a switch, very similar to the ones that are in the shift brace and the Tokyo changer. But this will run its way across that, and there is a little hump right there. And so when it is blade mode, that will hit the switch right there. And when it's in gun mode, it's going to be switched around and hitting a different switch. So if you go ahead and hit the button right here, I'm now in gun mode. If I switch to the one that's closer, I'm now in blade mode. Dual Wield mode is obviously nothing attached whatsoever, because nothing is pressed down. Fun fact, if you press both of them down, you still get Dual Wield mode, so I don't know what that's about. And then Naginata mode is a switch right down here that just presses in there, and now you got Naginata mode. So that was another gradualist, that's not a word. That's like I just combined Vangelis with something else. But that is another edition of how this toy works. That being said, I just really like this toy a lot. The 4 modes totally enhance the play value of this thing right out of the box. Whereas some weapons, you pick it up, it's like, oh look, it's a sword, it goes slash, 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 and that's about it. But this one, it slashes, it shoots, it slashes more, it slashes even more, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a fun desk toy too. It's a little bit big for a desk toy, but I find myself when I'm watching something, just sitting there and switching the modes, or when I'm waiting for a video to encode or anything, just switching modes from blade to gun to dual wield to Naginata to back. It's just really fun. It's a nice, simple, fluid transformation for each one that's really easy to do, and it's a satisfying thing for me. I'm just weird like that. But I like it a lot. It's a lot of fun. Right out of the box, you get 4 modes, and if you plan on collecting the gadgets, each gadget unlocks a new mode for this as well, outside of the ones that are interacting with Spectre's Gan Gun hand, instead of the Saber, which I think is just 1. So the gadget line working with this is really cool as well. So you're going to be looking at, I think, 6 or 7 total modes for this thing by the time the first quarter's said and done. I don't think anything was announced for the second quarter in terms of the gadgets, but that's an argument for a different day or a story for a different day or something. It's not today, is what I'm trying to say. So overall, I do like this quite a bit. It's a really fun toy, and I do recommend it for everyone into Ghost toy line thus far. You needed to get the Musashi Ghost Eyecon if you want the DX quality one. And like I said, it's just a lot of fun, and honestly, I'm digging it a lot more than I like the driver. It's definitely kept my attention a lot more than the driver actually has. So a great toy, and probably my favorite weapon toy since like the DJ gun, which is just producing fab beats. So who can argue with that one? So that about does it for this review. If you like it, go ahead and blast that like button, comment below, and subscribe for more. So as always, thanks for watching, take care, and have a great one. Bye.